Hey there friends and fans, Overly Positive Fanboy here, and today I'm giving my initial impressions on The Bad Batch Episode 3, Replacements. This episode sees our heroes crash land on a remote planet because, once again, tech didn't provide everyone with all the required information. Gotta say, I'm loving this little running gag they've got going. Anyway, just like last week, this episode is really about Hunter and Omega, as they have to set out and retrieve a missing part from this energy-sucking dragon thing. It eventually falls on Omega alone to get the part, and I love how it resolves without fighting and bloodshed. Plus, Hunter doesn't yell at Omega for taking the initiative, which is incredibly refreshing to see. However, things with the Empire are much less pleasant. Here, we get to see the very first non-clone members of the Imperial Army, and Crosshair is put in charge of them. They go on a mission to take out Saw Gerrera's camp from Episode 1, and they are merciless. I don't want to go into too much detail, but let's just say that it's probably the darkest moments I've seen in these cartoons for a long while now. This episode does end on a heartwarming note, as we find out that Wrecker spent the entirety of the episode constructing a new room for Omega in the ship, and it's the sweetest moment so far in the show. Though the moment is diluted somewhat by the shot of Crosshair sitting all alone in his bunk. Speaking of which, this episode has the Bad Batch bring up the possibility of trying to save Crosshair from his inhibitor chip, and that has me curious as to where things are going. I'm also a little worried about that. Wrecker hit his head in the crash and is shown to be feeling pain in the exact spot the chips are located in. Watching Wrecker succumb to Order 66 would be devastating. Anyway, this episode was great. My only real gripe was that the dark environments made it difficult to see what was going on, though that could have been because the sun was shining on my TV. If you're new here, then make sure to do all those YouTubey things like subscribing, liking the video, and commenting, and I'll see you next week to give my thoughts on Episode 4.